But you're absolutely right.
We
Yes.
talk to a lot of the traditional primary care physicians. And it seems like you're getting back to the old days when we had the care. When we grew up in Milford, this is back in the ancient times when the dinosaurs ran, we had 4 physicians. And we all knew them because you were either born by Dr. Chetty, Dr. Mastriani, you go through it. There's 4.
Dr. Pastorello?
You sit there and everybody knew.
Yeah, of course.
And they knew you.
Yes.
And you didn't have to try and put on airs because, they knew exactly. But there's a conflict now because I've heard over and over that with Medicaid especially, because it seems like Medicaid is your lowest, Medicare is a little better, and then you hope for a lot of independent insurers because the Medicaid patients don't even cover expenses for a lot of the traditional primary care health providers. How does that affect you? 'Cause I've heard people say, I'd love to take more and more Medicaid, but I have to limit myself or I can't feed my family.
Well, that's a good point. I'm probably not your typical physician in that regard. I was raised with a different outlook, and I've carried that through my life. I fortunately, we put the patient, and I don't mean to be altruistic here, but we put the patient first. I'll never refuse to see a patient. I always come in on.
Yeah, but if you go out of business.
I understand.
I mean, the killer is love the attitude. But if
Yes,
you took
yeah.
on all Medicaid
That's
and went
true.
out of business,
Yes, yep.
then you can't help
That's
anybody.
exactly correct. And
You probably have a family like mine. I mean, very, how would one say, they're not giving in the fact that they want to eat every day. They want clothes.
That's
They're
true.
very
Yes,
selfish
yeah,
that
yeah.
way.
Well, there's certainly, I don't have an answer for that. I certainly understand it, and I certainly agree with it. I think that I think I bury my head in the sand over it because I can't control that, and I feel what I can control at my individual private level up on, 145 West Street is simply to give good care, and hopefully there'll be more payers than non-payers, and we've been successful, I guess.
But does the feds, when I look at CPT codes and things on that line, are they getting better or worse at covering, like when you say mapping an eye?
They are getting worse. There is no question. Now, and that's, I guess, what I could say to that is I enjoy my specialty as much today as I did 30 years ago. So I'm not probably the best person to answer that. But there's no question that we feel as physicians that it's being ramped down against us very much and ultimately hurting patient